Greetings, medieval people. I am William Fitzstephen, and tonight we're doing a little armor update on some of the changes I've made to my kit. So, as everybody who's following me on Facebook knows, I got a new helmet recently. I posted some updates on that, but I've also done some work on my legs that I'm actually pretty excited to show everyone. And I haven't posted anything on Facebook about it yet because it's a little bit hard to explain in writing. I feel like it's easier to just show you what I did to them. And I got a new camera set up, so now I can start doing YouTube videos and all that. I kind of skimmed over that, but we got a little tripod ring light setup going on here with the little remote. So I'm giving that a try tonight, doing a little impromptu video here in the shield making shop, the garage. Because I don't really have the office set up yet, which is probably where I'm going to do most of my videos in the future. But since this is the first one, I just figured we'd do it here for now, since I got everything out here already. So first thing I did was with my legs here. I had these like buckles on here. Actually, I'll grab them real quick and show you guys so you can see. My dogs are out here with me too, so if you hear anybody chewing on stuff or wrestling up here, it's them. So they had these little, well, not little, that's why I took them off. Brad, stop chewing on that. Stop it. It's like eating plywood over there. So they had these buckles on them like these. So I had two of them on each leg, and they would kind of lace into these holes right here in my arming belt, like these giant holes, which was fine. I mean, it worked for, it worked. But I just didn't like having, basically after you lace it, you would have like two dangling straps on each leg when I'm fighting. And so I feel like the less dangly shit hanging off of me, probably better, right, I would say. And then I shortened up the straps here. So what I ended up doing is I saw, this is a little bit more historically accurate, I think, basically just a piece of leather that's riveted inside here. Like that, and it had copper rivets on those straps. I hate the way copper rivets look. Some people prefer them, but I prefer aluminum, so I swapped it out for some aluminum rivets here, and just punched some holes right here in the leather. So instead now, I can just take these little strings that I got, these little just paracord strings, and I lace them through here. And I like this setup a lot more. I just put 5 holes, just basically punched 5 holes in this leather here. I feel like 5 is enough. It gives me a good bit of adjustment, but I normally keep like leather hole punchers with me in my arming kit. So I think if I need to add more on the fly, I can, or as I fight, if I decide I want a little bit more adjustment, I think I just pop some in there and it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, so I like the way these kind of fit now, and they just tie up here like this. And I know there's some dangly pieces, but if I do a shoelace tie, like this is how I normally do it, I think. I feel like this holds better if you do like a shoelace knot, and then you just double knot it basically. There's a lot less string doing it this way, and it holds it pretty tight. So yeah, I'm not going to do the rest of it. I mean, I did shorten them up a little bit. I kind of found a good adjustment point to where they fit on my legs. I guess we'll go ahead and do this one actually. Might as well do them both. I'm showing you guys the armor update. So, and eventually I'm going to polish them. I just ordered a polishing kit actually on Amazon. It was like 20 bucks. You just put it into a normal like adjustable drill, like a hand drill, like a DeWalt or Milwaukee, and it comes with all these different grit sandpaper pads that you use for it. Like I said, it was like 20 bucks, so I'll send a link or post a link or something like that to what I got to polish everything and post an update when I do that, because I just don't like this. It's too beat up, and part of my cuirass and my helmet are like fresh mirror polish, so I want everything to kind of match at least at first, and then the idea is maybe it'll wear in at the same time. So eventually everything will look like this, it's just part of fighting, but it'll look more even, just kind of the idea I have in my head. But yeah, so that's how they fit now, and there's a lot less dangly stuff hanging off of me now. I got these, tied up pretty tight, so it's pretty good. And then I had to fix some of the plates with the articulation. Some of them were like popping out of place and snagging on each other. And this one was really bad. Those of you who have fought with me know pretty much anytime I fell into a grapple or took a knee, this bottom plate would come out of place and catch on the knee plate here. And then my leg would be stuck in like a bent position. I couldn't extend it straight. And so that was super annoying. So what I did, somebody recommended me to run a leather strap across all the plates and rivet them all together. I was going to do that, but I did this one little strap here, and that was a pain in the butt just to get in here and rivet these angles. So I decided not to do them all together because they weren't really giving me a problem anyways. If more plates give me a problem later in the future, maybe I'll do that. But the idea is basically this will prevent it from extending too far and coming out of place. Is kind of what I'm thinking. That should do, hopefully. And I do need to pad these too. So with that polishing kit, I ordered a bunch of like 1/2-inch padding that I think I'm going to throw in these, especially right here around the knee probably. But yeah, so we'll get everything padded. That'll be good. So I just throw this one on pretty much the same way. See, I'm still working on the adjustment. Like I feel like, depends on how I put the belt on. One side is a little bit further over than the other, but once I get everything laced and tied, it really does not become that big of an issue. I think ends up working. I haven't fought with them like this yet, so tomorrow we have a practice here in E-Town that I'm gonna go to, and so I'll practice fighting with these with the new lacing setup. But I've seen a lot of guys that have these, and I think this is how they come. Like a lot of, if you get your armor bought from like a professional armor maker, they have these little leather tabs at the top with the holes in them. My armor was secondhand. Well, not all of it, but most of it at this point is secondhand, that I've gotten from like a really good deal on eBay, actually, which is not, I don't think most people would recommend you to do that for armor fighting, but when you find a good deal, you know, you gotta snag it when you can get it. Yeah, these roofing nails are not really the same color as the steel either, so that's also why I want to polish everything and just kind of get it all looking real pretty, you know. So now I should be able to take a knee, I should be able to grapple, high knees, go down on one knee, go down on the other, and nothing coming out of place here. So I think we're doing pretty good. Right, we like that. So the other thing was my helmet. Yes, so let me start. This is the reason I brought the gambeson out. Because I like to kind of fit things as they're going to be worn in battle. You know, I could just wear a t-shirt and throw the helmet on, but that's not, doesn't really give you the same pictures if you're wearing like the gorget and the gambeson, and some other stuff too, you know. So I think this is better to get it. I'm not gonna bring the cuirass and everything else out, but you know, we'll do the legs. We got the gambeson and the gorget on. I think that's enough for tonight. Maybe I'll do a full armor update on everything one day here soon, because I do have some work planned for some of my other armor. Like I said, I gotta pad the legs. I gotta pad the cuirass too. Damn it. So you guys probably can't see it, but basically this buckle, the little metal prong got stuck on the wrong side. This has happened one time before, but I can't remember how I was able to fix it. Maybe turning it. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. It's weird stuff that happens with the buckles and armor sometimes, and just gotta roll with it. So, get this put on. Now, so I got this new helmet. It's got perf plate. Well, I'll just show you guys. For those of you that haven't seen, this is it. This is based off of the S18 Cherbourg Armet. Loosely based off of that one. Mainly based off of Sir John Falstaff's helmet from the 2018 movie The King, which is absolutely one of my favorite movies of all time. And partly why I got into armored fighting and the whole medieval scene in the first place was watching that movie with one of my friends. And I was like, wow, that's badass. This looks fun. Where can I do that at? But when you open it up, I've got this perf plate here. And now a lot of people on Facebook, they were saying the perf plate, if I get hit in the head, if I get hit in the face, it's going to chop my nose off or split it in half or something like that, which is not the case. I know in the pictures, it made it look like the edge of the perf plate was basically sitting like right here on the bridge of my nose, which it may have been in some of the pictures when we took them out there, but that's not actually how it fits. So I need to get my coif real quick too. I think it's probably not going to be an issue. And people were really worried in the comments about that, but the way it fits, I don't think it's going to be a problem. And I'll show you guys here why. It looks a little different in pictures, you know, from a different perspective or a different angle than if I'm actually wearing it here. So, go ahead and throw these. All right. So, now that it's on, I kind of need to adjust the camera angle because I feel like you guys can't see my head half of the time. I just bring a chair over here. I will sit in my medieval rolling chair. So if you see, I've added this. This is basically just 3 layers of duct tape and then a piece of leather that I have with some nylon string kind of laced through the perf plate here. And it doesn't obstruct my vision at all. Not any more than your nose would. I really can't see it most of the time. But this sits right here. So without this kind of catches on the very end of my nose. But without this leather piece, before I put this on, this would go like that, right down over the end of my nose. So it's very unlikely that this perf plate is going to come down and split my nose in half like a log, as some people were saying, or crush it or anything like that. Just because of the way it sits. If anything, it may slide down over the end of my nose, but the end of my nose is pretty squishy. So I think if that happens, it's just going to squish it out of the way. It may be uncomfortable. It may scrape it. You know, it may scratch it a little bit. It's not ideal. I don't want that to happen. But if it does, it's not the end of the world. You know, we are armored fighters at the end of the day. We know the risks. If my nose gets scraped, okay, so be it. That's a good day. You know, it's not that bad. But I think it'll be fine. Now, the other thing some people were saying, right, if I close this, it may bonk me coming back like that. But there's actually, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but hopefully you can. There's a good bit of space between this part of my visor and my nose and my face. So I think that should be good. And this isn't even strapped in yet. Some people have given me recommendations. William Francis is one of them, to do like a 4-point harness for my chin strap. I may do that one day if this does become an issue, if the nose injuries perhaps become a problem. I may do something like that. But see, this is actually worse because before I put the leather on, it didn't touch my nose at all. However, this may touch my nose more now, but it's not going to cut into my nose or like tear it open. This should just maybe bump it. I don't know. I may take this off. Who knows? The leather is, well, it just fell off there. So perhaps we'll need a better solution. But the duct tape is not bad either. The duct tape kind of smooths it. So again, it shouldn't. I actually like this better. Well, we just updated the armor right here on video, folks. You guys saw it here firsthand. It was terrible lacing on my part. But this duct tape makes it really smooth. So, like, it slides really easy now off my nose. So it shouldn't scratch. It shouldn't get hung up or anything like that. If it does hit me, it should just slide down. But other thing, this is not the padding that I'm going to be using. This is just what I had on hand, and it works for now. But I have the I think it's called the D30 Halo system from Midwest Armor or Midwest Armory, something like that. I'll post that too on Facebook or maybe in the link of this video or another video whenever I get it. But it's like military padding or something like that that's supposed to have like airflow in it. Really top of the line stuff. Like I said, I'll post more info when I get a hold of it and get it set up so everybody can see what it actually is, so I don't like butcher their brand or their name or anything like that. But that's the actual padding I'm going to be wearing. So there won't be any of this neck stuff. And it should sit kind of like that. I think that's about perfect. So not only is it, again, if it comes down, it should go right over the edge of my nose, but it should actually sit a finger higher, maybe an inch or so higher than the edge of my nose. So it should not be an issue. Other helmety things that I did. So the Aventail was ridiculously long when I got it. Let me get that real quick. So right here, this is a bag of chainmail that I cut off of this. This is enough. I may make a skirt for my cuirass with this. Honestly, this is more than enough. I could probably make 2 skirts for my cuirass with this. Maybe make one for me and maybe make one for somebody else, give it away or something like that. I don't know. But that's a ridiculous amount of chainmail. It was like a t-shirt, like a Soldier Boy t-shirt hung around my helmet, which, you know, no qualms against a helmet maker. You know, I mean, I'd rather have it too long than too short because all I had to do was cut it off with diagonal cutters, and it wasn't that hard. But what I'm gonna do is buy some more because I kind of messed up here. If you guys can see that, yeah, I kind of took out a little bit too many there. So I gotta fix that up, and then I want to put a brass trim around it. So I'm gonna get some brass rings and some more steel ones and some rivet tools. I've never worked with chainmail before, but I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna figure it out. Maybe make a video about it. That'll be pretty cool. So that, I think, is about it. There's some other stuff I have planned to do with this. Perhaps adding a plume holder on the back and some feathers. And then I think I want to blacken the perf plate here. The last helm I had perf plate and it was black. So it looked like, you know, it looked like nothing was there if you looked at the helmet from far away. This is cool and kind of space agey, but I feel like RoboCop. I feel like I look like RoboCop right now, or like Terminator with the full steel eyes. It's a little weird, but again, not complaining. I'm no qualms against the helmet maker. It is, you know, I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty awesome, but I just think it would look a lot cooler if my eye slit was black and it just looked like you were looking into the helmet, you know. I like that. Oh, and speaking of which, so speaking of the perf plate, some people were saying perf plate is dangerous because it breaks, because I'm not an expert on this, but I've heard, I guess allegedly, a lot of perf plate is 16 gauge, 17 gauge, 18 gauge, which is crazy. Why would you want something over your eyes or your face that's 16 gauge or 18 gauge? That's nuts. This is 2 millimeters thick. The rest of my helmet is 2.5 millimeters thick. This is all stainless steel. This is 2 mil mild steel. So this should not break. This is like, you know, the minimum requirements for a helmet metal thickness. 2 mil mild steel is pretty standard. So this should not break under any, you know, normal armored fighting circumstances. And if you're going to get perf plate, I recommend you ask for that. Do not get 16 or 18 gauge because, yes, that sounds ridiculously dangerous. You will get injured. That is bad. You don't want that. The reason I got it was for harness fecting, and I just wanted one helmet for all sports, so I could do steel fighting, I could do EMP, I could do SCA practices. I go to practices, but I'm not officially part of the SCA, but I do EMP, I train with some steel fighters, and I can do harness fecting. That's what I really want to do. So people can stab me in the eyes like you're supposed to do in harness fecting, but it doesn't actually kill me. It doesn't stab my eyes. We're safe at the end of the day because I have 2 mil perf plate. Do not get anything thinner if you're going to get perf plate. I think that's about it for all of the armor stuff that I had today. I can't think of anything else at the moment, but I will post some of this stuff on Facebook too. Yeah, so that's about it for this video. Let me go ahead and take this off here. This is the part I don't like, is this is a little tricky to get off because of the Aventail. Yep. Yeah, that's a little tricky. That's a little uncomfortable, but it is what it is. So I've had recommendations for some other guys. That's such a satisfying sound when you slap that visor onto there. But I've had recommendations for some other folks to just take the Aventail off, which I may do. And instead of having it on the helmet like that, because like I said, I'm not going to be wearing this padding for very long, maybe another week or so until I get my new padding that it's from Midwest, whatever, the Halo system. I could lace it here is kind of what I'm thinking of doing, taking that off of there and just lace that leather to this leather gorget with the brass trim on it. I think it would look really good. Yeah, I don't want to put it back on because it's going to be tricky to get off. But I think that would look pretty good. So I may do that. I'll consider that. Probably post some updates if I end up doing something like that. But yeah, that's it for this video. This is the first YouTube video I've made yet. So if you enjoy it and you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments about the armor stuff or if you have any recommendations. And check out our sponsor, lordsandladies.com. Actually, sorry, that's not the website. It's medievalgear.shop is the website. But the brand is Lords and Ladies. They make shields, candles, all sorts of medieval stuff. And they are our #1 sponsor. So if you like the video and you want me to keep making more, go check their website out. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram as well. So.